Hello and good day to you. It's me, Andy, and this is Andy Wright Travel. Now, I haven't done a video on apps before, except for the National Rail one, which you will know because it's called Passenger Assistance. It's designed exclusively for disabled people to travel and to book help for trains around the country. Now, that is specifically for everywhere, well, nearly everywhere, because I had a journey I tried to book, and it was going to go from my house to London and then go to Heathrow. And fortunately, trying to get the help for the Paddington to Heathrow, part of it was nigh on impossible because the app does not cover that. It only covers the National Rail portions of it. Now, I could have gone a different route, but that was very, very long-winded and had multiple changes I really didn't want. I want my journey to be easy. I have a scooter, and of course, travelling around, it's bad enough trying to get help anyway, but travelling with a scooter, and as you know, they have exceedingly small wheels, where a wheelchair could access a train by by bumping up on the wheels, the scooter can't. And obviously, if there's any form of gap, the likelihood is that the wheel will get stuck in the gap. Having done London many years ago, I see that this app is actually very, very good. Now, you can download it. It's Transport for London, TFL. Let's have a look at the web page. And obviously, it's an iOS or Android app that you have to download onto your phone. But this is the obviously the web page. So the web page here, TFL Go app. This is basically helps you to find journeys. So this will include buses and things like that, underground, overground, wobbling free, as they say. So the important part for us, if you're a wheelchair user or disabled person, you need to know step 3. Now, this is where we get the issues with London, in the fact that it's not entirely accessible. A lot of the stations are having lifts and things, but a lot are not. And you have to be aware that if you want to go from A to B, it does require some planning. Obviously, the idea of using this app for me is to book my trip to try and find out how I get to the Excel for the show in July next year, which you'll know is the Disability Expo. And of course, we're going to be doing that journey on video probably in November. So you get a rough idea of how it works. So you can specify the fact that the journey should be step free to the train as well, rather than just the platform, because the platform will have lifts, but the train could have a gap, or it could have a little bit of a ramp. I know that they are putting in platform sort of raised areas, so it makes it easier to get on the train, but a lot of the trains have a big gap. For me, obviously, that's my small wheels, makes it very impossible to board trains without help. Of course, the last trip I did, 2016, you can watch that video. I'll try and link it, and you can have a look at that. It was a 3-part episode. So let's get on with the app and have a look and see how easy it is. Okay, so once you've got your app installed and it's up and running. Now bear in mind that we're not on the phone, we're on the computer, and this is running BlueStacks, which is like an emulator, so it's not going to be exactly like this, and also it's a little bit harder to control because on the mobile phone I found it very easy. On here it's quite difficult. Anyway, so I'm just going to give you an example. Now this is the step-free toggle, so you can see that there is a icon that appears, and of course it's very important because you need to know which one you can get on and get off. Unfortunately, obviously a lot of it is not accessible. Oxford Circus, for example, you can't get on or off there. It is just the interchange when you go from the Bakerloo line, which obviously you can get on to a certain degree. You can get on up here at Paddington, but even so, Baker Street is not accessible. Step-free to platform is basically interchange only, which obviously means the Jubilee line there. So you could come in on the Jubilee line and leave the station, but you cannot go onto the Bakerloo line. But the other added problem that we have as wheelchair users, or in my case scooter users, the circle line, which is the yellow and the green and pink, generally they go around in a big circle around the city. There is one problem for disabled people, and that is that you have to go round clockwise. If you want to get on or off, it's only accessible clockwise. So if you're going around, i.e. you want to go from Paddington to Earl's Court, probably not a good example because you could go on the green. But even so, the little blue arrow there, it says it's clockwise only. So that's the problem. You're going to have to go all the way around in order to get to where you want to go. This is purely because there's not any access. For example, you click on this, it's step-free for the interchange only. So that means if you're coming in, you can change probably green to yellow, and that's it. But only when you're going clockwise. Right, having said that, what we want to do is, oh yeah, it does have buses, by the way. You can also see buses, but we can't do it because there are no buses nearby at the moment. Anyway, whatever. So, and here we have the disruption, which tells you what problems there are. And I know for a fact the Elizabeth line is disrupted because it's disrupted from Hayes and Harlington down to, all the way down to Heathrow Airport. So there's a problem there. The best way, I should show you really where we want to go first of all. So where we want to go for XL, if you're going to the show, then you're going to have to go to Custom House. Custom House is in the East End of London, and it is basically where XL is located. As you can see, luckily for us, all of these stations around here are this is the DLR line, the cyan colour, and the purple line obviously is Elizabeth line. So these two service XL, and Custom House is where we want to go. This is basically step free to the train and you can actually change the option, but I put it onto that because I want step three to the platform. It's not much good if you can't get on the train, and for me, I've got very small wheels, so it makes a big problem for me. Right, so that's where we want to go, and I wish I could zoom out, but I can't. Oh, I can zoom out a little bit. There you go. Now, it's either Paddington for me or it's Waterloo. And Waterloo down here. It's not going to let me click. Come on. What's going on? Has it crashed up? It hasn't crashed up. There. Step 3 to train. So that is the Jubilee line, I believe. That one. Yeah, Jubilee line. And that, so for me, would be Waterloo or Paddington, depending on which train I come in. And it goes all the way across here. Then we'd have to change because there is no direct route. So we probably have to get off here, Canning Town, get off there and change over to the DLR. Which obviously will go down to there. Now for me, it's just as easy, or in fact it's easier to go on the Lizzie line, which is a purple one there. So the Lizzie line which goes all the way over here to this station here, Paddington, and it's step 3 to train. By the way, there is another document I found, and it does tell you in more detail the measurements for various gaps. So the gap between the platform and the train, it tells you what gap that is. It also tells you whether you need a ramp, and I would suspect that if you are going on these other platforms, these other stations like this one here, it's step 3 to the platform, but how do you get on the train from the platform? So this is where you need to be careful, because it may be that if you have a wheelchair you're fine, because you can actually bump up the gap, but if you're like me with small wheels, then you may well get stuck or not be able to get up on the platform to the train. Right, now let's do the journey. So we're going to Custom House and we can get directions, and we're going from Paddington, right? And this will actually tell you, oh, there's only a bus at the moment. So Paddington, and it's basically, it's an hour and 52 minutes. Paddington to Custom House. Leaving now. There is a Lizzie line train. That will take 35 minutes, but it's not this one here. It says that there's disruptions reported. Now we can find out what they are. Obviously all about the airport line, so it's not really very appropriate. So Paddington, going through to Abbey Wood, and it goes through and you get off at Custom House. And basically you can see the number of stops that you have, and when you get to Canary Wharf, you know that you've got the next stop and you'll be getting off there. So it's very easy to see that you only have one stop to get off and it'll be ready to go. And obviously we're going to the Excel Centre, which obviously is not Custom House. That's actually the Custom House is the station for Excel. Obviously you could cycle. It's 12.2 miles apparently. Interesting. Buses are fully accessible. If you've never been on a London bus, then it is very much an experience. I don't know if I want to repeat that, but let's go back and we'll try my Waterloo, because I actually want to see what it comes up with. So we have Custom House, and we're going to go from Waterloo. Yeah, let's see what it comes up with. So it is obviously Jubilee Line and DLR. Or you can do Jubilee Line and bus. Or you can do 3 buses, 1 hour 28 minutes to go that on bus. It's obviously fully accessible. Or you could cycle it. I don't think so. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at DLR. So click on that, and so Waterloo going to Canning Town, as I said, then change, and then Custom House. And it's basically, this is the walk that you'll do, and there is the Excel Centre there. It isn't very far. You actually can see, I think you can see the station. Obviously they're making you, there we are. So they're making you, there's the DLR stop. They're making you walk all the way around and then come back to the other station, when in fact you just need to walk down the road and you're there. That is the London Excel. And of course 34 minutes. It isn't quite the idea. They've got obviously the disabled symbol, but that it should be fully accessible, Jubilee Line and DLR. What we can do here, we have the options for changing the icons, so we can have step free. We want to apply this so that we get step free to train, which is different, because being able to get on the train is important. And of course we can also turn off the various things that we don't like, i.e. buses, so I can turn them off. We could probably do overground and turn off national rail, but that basically gives you more options then. So we've got 8 modes of transport, and Waterloo to Custom House. Again, it's still the same, but there's no bus. There's no bus listed. And this is step free to the vehicle. Right, there you go. That's the app, and of course it helps you plan the journey. TFL Go is the app name. Download it from Transport for London, tfl.gov.uk, and of course the app, iOS and Android. It's quite good, I have to say, and it might help you to plan your journey if you're going to Excel in July.